Hello, everybody. How are you today? This is day 2 of my live streaming event, day 39 of my solitary quarantine. Hello, I'm still here. Day 2 is hard. Day 1 was really good, but day 2 is like, all right, we're doing this for 7 days. So here we are, day 2. For those of you who did not tune in yesterday, the reason that I'm doing this is because I realized I was starting to struggle a little bit with keeping myself motivated, and I wanted to do something to keep myself accountable. So I decided to do a live stream for 7 days in a row during quarantine. Like I said, it's day 39, so I'm starting to lose it a little bit, but I have my trusty white wine. I think this is going to be my last day of white wine. So stay tuned for tomorrow to see what's new in the liquor cabinet. But if you'd like to drink with me, please feel free. I'm here for 30 minutes, so sit back, get comfortable. It'll be a great time. Something else I wanted to talk about today before I get started is I had an idea to try to raise a little bit of money to buy some shipping supplies so I can ship out books and art projects and things to people who might want to buy them, because I am currently out of work. I work primarily in the event industry, and as a lot of you probably know, events are canceled right now all over the world for an indeterminate amount of time. So if you want to contribute to helping me try to set up an area where I can make a little money by shipping things out, I'm trying to raise $250 to cover all of my overhead shipping costs. So if you want to contribute, you can Venmo me at Taylor Bradley 91, but of course there's no pressure at all. If you decide to donate over $25, you will get a paperback version of a book once I get everything set up, and a original type written out piece signed by me. It'll be a first draft of something, so there may be like a typing error or two in it, but it might be worth millions one day. You never know. So if you want to do that, it would be a big help for me to be able to do something to make some money. Also, while I'm going on, please feel free to ask questions in either of the comments in Facebook or Instagram, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. I'm also going to share some ongoing art projects with you guys today. I'm going to be focused primarily on paintings today. Yesterday was some typewriter art that I did over some vintage magazines. And today, I'm going to be focused on some paintings. Also, if you tuned in yesterday, you know that my hair is a constant struggle for me. I'm trying to keep it down and keep it cute. So I did the half up, half down today, thinking this might be a little bit more helpful so I can actually keep it down. We will see. So, on to the meat of it. So today, I want to start with a piece that I wrote from yesterday's chosen theme, which was Profound Loss. Then I'll go into some material from my second book, Withdrawals. And at some point, I will share a short piece that I wrote about my dear friend Wayne, per yesterday's theme request, because that was the most popular theme, was everyone was like, write about Wayne, that'd be funny. So I did write a little something for Wayne, but you'll have to wait for that. First, we'll talk about the theme Profound Loss, which was actually recommended by my mother. She was the selected theme, I know. A little bit playing favorites, but I thought it was a good theme. So the first piece is actually dedicated to one of my closest friends who lost his dog today. And the dog really meant a lot to him. So a little something for that also matches with the theme Profound Loss. The title of it is Temporary. Everything that we love is temporary. Our time is always cut short for the things that we love the most. It's never enough. Full lifetimes are not enough. Anything less flattens us, leaves us belly up, starfish on our carpeting. Our only solace is knowing that we will lose everything one day. The more you lose, the higher the value of the things you have, the greater your understanding of people. You have to make room for joy in the breaths between tragedies, or we will spend our lives grieving. But you are temporary too, because you are loved. It has to be enough. The moments, the weeks, the years you get have to be enough, without counting them. You will always wish for more moments. Make sure you make the ones you are granted something that can carry you through the moments taken from you. So, I know we're starting a little bit on a heavy note, but I thought it needed to be said. I know a lot of us are dealing with loss right now, whether it's due to the coronavirus or personal losses. It seems like everybody is losing things right now. So do the best that you can with the moments that you're given. Okay, the next piece I want to read is called Detoxing and Sea Gypsies. And then after that, I'll share a couple paintings. So Detoxing and Sea Gypsies was written, I'll tell you about it later. I'll read it first and then I'll tell you. Day 5 feels an awful lot like running away with sea gypsies. The floor is ever shifting, changing from the slight swaying of a yacht to the bathtub toy violence of a dinghy. Over encumbered with rowdy drunkards flirting with every mammal they encounter. A hand with overgrown fingernails caked under with brown, salty grime passes you an ear of corn, dripping butter and hot enough to breathe heat against your front teeth before you take a bite, and pass it to the next set of teeth to be breathed upon. Seasickness is to be expected, and you've learned to find the beauty in watching various sized chunks of your innermost workings roll away on the crest of frothy waves and blend into the blue abyss. Fish swimming eagerly underneath, hoping for a tiny morsel of your heart to keep them from drowning. You listen mostly to Tejano music and hungry seagulls, but sometimes everyone sits around and talks about their dreams and nightmares and what they think they mean, accidentally sharing their deepest secrets and fears of being forgotten. Fireball and Bud Light are more abundant than drinkable water, pulsing electric currents through your aching muscles, sore from keeping you afloat. Bees dance in your morning breath, drunk from the sugary moisture your body is expelling. They flock to every inch of you, exposed and perspiring, lapping cinnamon salt from your sun-kissed belly and outstretched sleeping arms. You fall into a deep sense of disconnect from anything past your 30 feet of ocean and the depths of comfort that float beside you, unable to see anything beyond the next 30 seconds of your disjointed existence, unwilling to. So that is about day 5 of detoxing from medication. I went cold turkey on a couple of years ago. I was prescribed an antidepressant, and I talked to my therapist about it. I probably shouldn't have gone cold turkey, but I did. And I was kind of writing about what it feels like to detox from something, and I related it to an adventure that I had when I went to Pirate Weekend on Catalina Island a couple years ago. And I matched up some of the events that happened. All real, by the way. I did share an ear of corn with some pirates. Let's see, anything, comments? Oh, hi! My cousin Nick is watching. Hi, Nick! I hope you're doing okay in Ireland. You're still in Ireland, right? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. It's nice to see you. Kind of see you. Okay, I want to share a couple pieces of painting, and then I will go back into reading. And don't worry, the poem about Wayne is coming up. So first, I want to share with you this piece that I did. It's actually a print of the piece. I don't have any of my original pieces with me that I painted before I came here. They're all in storage back in California. So this one I did about road trips because I've taken a fair amount of road trips, and I love Americana art. I love advertisements in bright, vibrant colors. So I did that for this. And then Goodnight was actually a town in Texas that I passed through called Goodnight, Texas. And seeing the sign was very weird because it felt very eerie and strange to be driving for a million hours on the road. And then it says good night. It just felt scary. And I was like, where am I? It's like, oh, of course, Texas. I'm in Scotland now. How's Scotland? Are you doing okay? Are you staying safe and washing your hands a bunch? I don't know what Scotland is like right now with all of this. Okay, the next piece I want to share is actually 3 pieces that are a series together, and it's called the Boyfriend Series. And what I did is I did, when I dated them, the cigarettes that they smoked, and the Death Cab for Cutie album that we listened to the most together. So this first one was summer 2006. It will all remain nameless. This one was summer 2006. This one was 2007 to 2008. Sorry, Instagram, I know it's backwards for you, but if you go watch on Facebook, it's normal, I think. Marlboro and Plans. And then the last one that I have is 2008 to 2018. Newport Shorts and Narrow Stairs. So they're a series. They will be for sale if I can gather the money to start sending things out, shipping-wise. So those are my first pieces of art that I would like to share, and then I will go back into some writing, because that's what we're all here to do, right? Is share some writing. So, okay. Next one, this is an 11-word observation. I do a fair amount of them. I love doing it because it's enough of a challenge that it keeps me focused, and I like having some boundaries. I'm a theater person, so I like being able to get creative throughout, like by using different boundaries. So the first one, 11-word observation. An electric shock of product placement. Vibrancy decaying against dead things. And it's about desert trash. So, trash in the desert. Again, I told you I love Americana stuff. So, anything that's bright and vibrant and an advertisement. I grew up in the Mojave Desert, and so when I would go out walking sometimes, I would see discarded wrappers and cans and trash. Don't litter, I hate litter, but for something visual about seeing those bright colors against, you know, all these muted browns and muted greens, I just thought that it was beautiful. So I'll read it one more time. An electric shock of product placement, vibrancy decaying against dead things. I'm making bookmarks out of my 11-word observations. That will be included with any book that I sell. So this is the very first one I ever wrote. 11-word observation number 1. Samuel Beckett probably liked it when people coughed during his plays. I'm a theater nerd, I know. But this is the very, very first one I ever wrote. And I said, I love that it's 11 words. I don't know why, but I just loved that it was 11 words. And so I'm going to be making a bunch of bookmarks of all my 11-word observations and sticking them in any books. Let's see. Cheers, Sophie. I drove a portion of Route 66 on my move east, and this reminds me of that. Yes. There's another piece that I'm going to be reading today about desert driving. So stick around for that one because I think you'll like that one too. Also, I just noticed my nails are in terrible, terrible shape. They're so chipped and terrible. So maybe that'll be one of my assignments for tomorrow, is to make my nails look less terrible. Okay, one of the moments many of you have been waiting for. Hopefully Wayne is watching this, because here it is, the piece about Wayne that everybody wanted from yesterday. It's a haiku. He offers his hand, twirling beneath chandeliers. Life is a banquet. So that's for Wayne, from my theme, Wayne. We go swing dancing all the time together, if you did not know. And so a lot of my memories with him, a lot of my most fond memories with him are of dancing. It's really nice to just be swept off your feet and dance until you're out of breath. It doesn't get to happen very much, or it didn't before I met him. So a shout out to Wayne. Thank you for always taking me dancing. Life is a banquet. Okay, the next piece I'm going to read is called Rot Garden, and this is two pieces kind of together. So the first one's called Rot Garden. I wrote this a little bit ago, about 2 years ago, I want to say. Almost 2 years ago. I'm ankle deep in root-rotted soil, my legs twitching with the desire to run, but my feet are unable to move. I stay planted against all odds, incapable of even wriggling my toes free. My eyes search the dirt for movement, tracking the maggots and flies through their journey to adulthood, where they slowly eat away at any growth and collapse into this muddy patch to become fertilizer for more diseased plants, struggling for enough vitamins to survive. Miscellaneous garbage is strewn about the foundations of where the stems broke through to touch sunlight. Finally, suffocating them with icy cups, plastic bottles, and disregarded receipts. Because who the fuck keeps track of receipts anymore? Unfurling rolls of coupons and savings and links to surveys, divvied out to the best of the best consumers, the best Americans, to help them keep up with their obligation to fill a percentage of the Earth's crust with trash. I'm doing my part. I'm bathing in it. Even the weeds are wilted here. The flowers are blanched, the vegetables discolored and limp, and whenever I try to dig up the repulsive ugliness, clawing out as much as I can at a time, attempting to rid my garden of the malodorous decay, I wear out before I reach the bottom of their roots. Give up and fill the holes with soil. But it always resurfaces. So I've decided to sit, to give up on the possibility of running and nourish myself on overripe tomatoes, acidic and putrid with hardened seeds and black sludge beneath the skin, hoping that it's enough to survive until I have the strength to try to reach the bottom again. But for now, I sit like a weed in this awful fucking rock garden. So that was me feeling very stuck. And then the second part of this is called Uprooted. It rained, and the soil flooded. My toes writhed free, and my feet lifted, leaving a trail of compost and mud from the garden to the ocean, where my legs took me without warning or consideration. The water is colder than I remember. The sand is unstable, being pushed and pulled by the tides, taken from beneath the arches of my feet and moved to the ocean's floor, untouchable to anyone but those who venture into the depths to find solid ground and still water. Not at the shore. Here I stand, ankle deep now in uncertainty and fear, angry with my legs for their old desire to run. They have no desires now, except to stay steady enough to keep me standing. My feet ache from being packed in soil for so long. My toes try to grasp at the little pebbles and shells, worn down into half grains of rice, desperately trying to release the restlessness that has nuzzled into my muscles and bones, nesting for so long that it doesn't know how to leave. The grime beneath my nails will not wash away easily. It must be picked and filed and washed with peroxide and bleach. The dead skin must be pumiced away with more than salt, with more force than the waves provide, and with more time. But the smell of decay is already gone. So quickly it was replaced by the smell of fear. The comfort that comes with stagnation was swallowed by the thrill of the open ocean, pumping adrenaline and doubt through my rusty veins that had grown accustomed to the peace that happens to the slowly withering. So that was about taking risks and leaving a place that I was comfortable to venture into the unknown. No Frozen reference intended. Let's see. Gotta run. 2:15 a.m. here, so gonna wind down. Excellent to see you. Fire me a message when you're free sometime. I will, Nick. Thank you for watching. I'll fire you a message, of course. I'm so glad to see that you're doing well. He runs a YouTube channel where he crafts all of these different creatures and figures from pop culture. So he's really, really incredible. I think it's Lorecraft, if you look it up. Very, very talented. Okay. Wayne says, yes, I knew it would be a haiku. Of course it would be a haiku. You're perfect for a haiku. Okay. Another thing I want to share is a painting that I did, and then I'll go into some more reading. So this painting is the first painting I ever did of a person. Up until this point, I had only done things, items, places. But I was always very scared to do a painting of a person because if it doesn't turn out right, I feel like it's wonky. So, but I wanted to take a risk, and I did a painting of my mother from 1976. I think it was 1976, 1977 maybe. She was at a wedding. And it's not perfect, but I'm really happy with it. I think I captured her eyes really well. Her hair, I wish I did a little bit better, but I did my best. And she's holding the Rocky Horror Picture Show vinyl album. I think, like I said, I think she was at a wedding. So dancing, music, all that fun stuff. Okay, the next piece I want to share is called More Thoughts About Fish. So before I delve into that, I want to read the piece that inspired it, which is a piece of flash fiction by Lydia Davis called The Fish. First, I'm going to take another sip of this, because this one makes me a little bit sad, but it's also kind of fun. So the piece by Lydia Davis is just called The Fish, and I'm going to read that one first. It's flash fiction, so it's very short. She stands over a fish, thinking about certain irrevocable mistakes she has made today. Now the fish has been cooked and she is alone with it. The fish is for her. There's no one else in the house. But she's had a troubling day. How can she eat this fish cooling on a slab of marble? And yet the fish too, motionless as it is and dismantled from its bones and fleeced of its silver skin, has never been so completely alone as it is now. Violated in a final manner and regarded with a weary eye by this woman who has made the latest mistake of her day and done this to it. When I read that in college, it was in a book which was a collection of short stories by Lydia Davis. I felt so intensely bad for this fish. And I didn't really understand the power of this piece because it stuck with me for years and years and years. And I was like, why do I feel bad for this fish? And why do I keep thinking about this woman? This is like, what, 5, 6 sentences maybe? And it just kept playing over and over and over again in my head. And then I started getting into beta fish for a period of time, as I think we all do. We all go through a beta fish period. And I was going through a couple beta fish. I took very good care of them, but some of them had diseases and things. So I always named them after Shakespearean characters from the tragedies because it made it easier to know that they were going to die. I'll go into that in a minute. But I decided to write a piece finally about me addressing how I felt about this piece and the impact that it made on me. So here it is. It's called More Thoughts About Fish, and this one I wrote. In college, I read a piece of flash fiction in which an exposed, skinned, and cooked fish sat untouched on a woman's plate for dinner. It changed my life, not only in how I think about fish, but how I think about women. Last month, my second beta died. Lady Macbeth was my first. Macbeth my second. Hamlet will be my third, Ophelia my fourth. It's much less sad when they die. Of course they die. They were made to die. Besides fleeting beauty and a little company, their primary purpose is death, reminding us that we're all mortal, shuffling off our coils together. I fished him from his bowl with a little blue net as gently as possible, dropped him into his porcelain coffin. He made no splash. His fins were beautifully splayed in a circle around him, lying in perfect stillness beneath a new surface of water, like a painting, a drop of red food coloring in a glass of milk, cream in coffee, smoke, rippling and unfurling in every direction, but perfectly still, the epitome of death. I couldn't bring myself to rid the world of him in such a foul way, so for a while I just stared, unsure of any other option. I sat down on the floor of my bathroom, resting my head in the palms of my hands, not capable of stirring up this little blip of beauty, unknowingly surrounded by ugliness. I thought of the cooked fish on the dinner plate, exposed and unknowingly frightened, having died for no particular reason, remaining untouched in both cases, neither of us women able to move, even to save this helpless creature from wasting any more of its time doing nothing. Okay, that's all I have to say about that piece. I don't think I have any additional comments. We're getting close to the end of our time, 8:27. There is one more piece I'd like to read called Desert Driving. And Sophie, if you're still here, maybe this one will also remind you a little bit of Route 66. And just another reminder, if you're just tuning in, I'm trying to raise money to get some shipping supplies so that I can make a little bit of money during this quarantine by selling some books and artwork. And so if you donate over $25 to my Venmo, which is Taylor Broadley 91, the same as my Instagram account, you will get a paperback book of either this or Side Effects. If you have, one that you prefer, let me know and I'll send you that one. And you'll also get a personalized typed out piece that's signed by me at the bottom, and it's a first draft of one of them. So there might be small spelling errors and things, but I think that's kind of what makes it special. Okay, last piece of the evening, Desert Driving. Drive through the Mojave with the windows down. Listen to music from the 70s, and you'll understand why people think the desert is beautiful. You told me again you preferred handsome men, but for me you would make an exception. Leonard Cohen understood beauty and romance like no one else in the world. And nothing is as beautiful or romantic as isolation. You pass abandoned hotels with broken-in windows, dried-up pools, and dead lizards littering what was once a patch of grass. The sky proving that some things do go on forever. The road proving the earth is indeed round. Yellow blurs rapidly ticking beneath, peering into the moments you barely missed because you were lost thinking about the horizon instead of the road your wheels pushed away from. This must be the valley of the shadow of death. Nothing moves. Nothing whispers. Everything casts shallow shadows because everything is so close to the ground. Stillness and silence as far as the eye can see. No reception. Your thoughts slowly turn to suffocation of the air sitting against your skin, your lungs filling with sunlight. Heat ripples cooking the rubber off your tires beneath you. A stale conglomeration of the underworld and heaven, bright, welcoming warmth and putrid, baking decay, luring you further into the vastness, beyond your worry for gas or water. A magnetic pole that leaves dust on the bottom of your shoes and bugs on your windshield. Trash becomes art. Splashes of color, logos, a reminder of the world you left behind, forever fighting against deterioration, filling everything, even our faces, with plastic, to remain beautiful and untouched by time, in a wasteland of breathtaking death and natural beauty. That's all I have for you today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow, I will be reading more from Withdrawals, which is my second book. I have a lot of pieces in here that I think are shareable. Today was a little bit dark. I'm sorry, there was a lot of dark pieces in this one. Tomorrow will be happier. Please recommend a theme before you leave, before you tune out, before you click out of my box. Let me know a theme that you want me to write about for tomorrow, and I will write a piece and share it first thing for tomorrow's live stream. I'll be doing this for 7 days in a row. Today is day 2, so we still have 5 more days ahead of us. And if you feel so inclined, it would be great to raise a little bit of money so I can start selling books and start making a little bit of money during this quarantine. So if you want to, Venmo me at TaylorBradley91. I'm trying to raise $250, which will cover all of my shipping costs, my overhead shipping costs, so I can start selling things from the road or from home. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please leave theme suggestions or send me theme suggestions. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick a random one. So that's it. Cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.